Thank you all for joining us for the New Year, New You coaching series. Let me firstly introduce you to Bjorn. Bjorn was inspired to get into coaching out of a desire to serve. He has spent the last 12 years dedicated to telling stories as an actor. As a leadership and life coach, he works with clients in making personal shifts. Through a co-created partnership, clients are able to move beyond their perceived limitations to achieve what they once deemed as impossible.
Why don't you first introduce yourself to the audience and tell us a little bit about your background, more importantly, what draws you to coaching?
Oh, absolutely. So my name is Bjorn DuPaty. I've been an actor for the last 13 years now. I've existed since 2008. But somewhere around the last, I would say 2 years, I've been having a feeling of what else can I do? What else can I like? What else do I want to be a part of my life? And to really think about that and expand into that. Um, I remember reading a book called The Financial Diet, and somewhere toward the end of that book, this woman said something very profound. She said, even if you find something that you're very passionate in, to diversify your happiness. And I was like, oh, that's so interesting, because usually we learn that like, oh, we have a passion, we go after it, we make all our lives about said passion and everything like that. But she said, diversify it, because it's not always going to be great. You might be working with someone you don't want to work with. You might be doing a project you don't want to do. And there has to be something else to provide happiness, provide joy, provide that spark. And I was starting to feel that in my career. My career is going very great, but I was also thinking, what else could I do? What else can give me that spark, that joy, that happiness that I'm looking for? That it's not all the eggs into this one basket that I chose, right? So yeah, that's what led me to coaching. I ended up talking to a few friends of mine who were coaches, are coaches, and I felt like it was the perfect fit for me. As an actor, we naturally listen, so that's like
Yeah.
part of it. And I feel like it was a place that I could bring my full self to. Like I can bring all the aspects of myself and and be that for other people.
What do you think are the top three benefits that coaching has give you access to?
Mm, I love this question. I feel like it gives me space, or well, I hope it gives my clients space, but I feel like space, focus, and essentially a relationship, you
Hmm.
know? So like, let's start with like relationship. I think we all feel better when we're doing something with someone else, right? Like this is why people want to like, when they want to do fitness goals, they be like, oh, let's do it together, you know? And so it's something about being in relationship with someone, having that community, having someone going through something with you that feels supportive, feels empowering, gives you that extra motivation, having someone to be accountable to. All those things help get you, let's say, on your way, right? It helps you stay the course, so to speak. I think it gives you focus. It reminds me when I grew up. I grew up doing martial arts, right?
Mm.
And at that point in time in my life, that was my entire life. Like I didn't want to do anything, watch anything unless karate was in it. And so I had that tunnel vision, as some people would say, tunnel vision, and I grew in that focus and that and martial arts very, very fast, right? Now, of course, as you get older, you have life, you have relationships, you have work, you have so many things that become sort of a distraction. So all of a sudden, that tunnel vision can't be what it was. And
Mm.
as the moniker says, what you focus on grows. Well, the growth can't necessarily be there as the degree you might like it, because life is pulling you in a lot of different directions. And I began to learn that as I went through life. I actually remember asking myself, wow, why can't I accomplish things the way I used to as a child? Well, Bjorn, because you have life and relationships and work and survival and all those things, you know. So I feel like coaching helps give you the awareness on your life to help you focus on it, right? It helps a coach like myself or someone else can give you, and now going to the next and final one, the space, right? I give you the space so you can talk, you can be your authentic self, and we can focus that light so you can focus on where you want your life to go.
And you also touched on relationship, which is really interesting. Can you explain a little bit of what the coaches do for people in the coaching relationship? How does it different than friends, and how does it different than, you know, an expert who gave you advice?
Absolutely. So I feel like we all have experts in our lives to give us advice, right? That's our parents, that's our loved ones, that's our good friends, and they all mean well, and it's all well and good because we all have that, and we've been able to take some of those things and use it toward our lives, but they are given it from their perspective, right? And how many times have you been told something and you just don't want to do it? It's like, don't tell me what to do. That happens. From a coaching perspective, I like to tell my clients that I am a co-creator with my clients. That
Mm.
means that you are in the driver's seat. I'm sort of in the passenger seat. I'm the navigator. I'm your GPS. You tell me where you want to go in life, and I help us point in the right direction and put one foot in front of the other toward that goal, toward that destination, toward that way of being, you know. So yeah, and a difference, and I guess if you want to like distinctly make the distinction between the two, is like a consultant or someone who gives advice is just there. They do an assessment. They say, "Oh, Ying, this is what I see out of like do these three things. Call me on Thursday and tell me how it goes." You know, maybe I'll step back in and let you tell you you should adjust. But as for me as a coach, I'm there with you, walking you through, walking with you, supportive, non-judgmental, and holding space for you, supporting you, standing for you, holding you accountable, like all those things. But it's all always from a place of compassion, from a place of service and giving. So
Mm, that's awesome. I like the word that you use, co-creation, right? And
mhm.
I also like the analogy that you use when the client is really in the driving seat, where you as a coach is really in the passenger seat. I hear a lot of the clients say, is coaching valuable? Like, how does a coach provide value to me? What's your thought on that? Like, who is creating value in the coaching relationship? And what does a coach really do to help the client achieving their goals?
So who is creating value? I think, in my opinion, that the client actually creates the value, right? What value I have is whatever you think I bring to your table, right? So let me explain a little bit more. So you as the client is in control of the destination of where we're going. As I always say, however old you are, you know, as far as your age, you have been living with yourself that many years. So you're the expert of who you are. You know what you need, you know what you would like to have. And truthfully, we always say that you actually have all the answers. But like I've stated before, you know, now life gets in the way. Distractions get in the way. We have self-limiting beliefs that may get in the way. We might have self-limiting beliefs based on previous experience that might get in the way. Me as a coach, I guess if you can say if what value do I have, is to help put awareness on that, help be a mirror for you for that, and help maybe let you see that it's not as bad as it appears to be in your mind. That there is a way to get beyond it. There is a way to break through to the other side. And yeah, I would say that will be like the main thing to, as far as like coach, client, and value. But I would simply say the client creates value. Yeah, I always tell people that, hey, I'm no guru. Like I said, you are the master of your life. You've been living with your life for however many years. I'm no guru. Because if I was a guru, then I would be the consultant telling you what to do, right?
Yeah.
So you are the one that is coming to me saying that, hey, this is what I need. This is what I want. This is what I desire. This is what I envision for my life, right? I am here to support that, right? If I was a guru, then I would tell you, no, that's not what you need. You need this. That's not my job. My job and my desire and why I got into this to be of service, to help people really fully realize what they truly, truly want in life, whatever that may be. And there's no standard of that. There's no like hitting it. We will know that we got to the destination when you look me in the face and say, Bjorn, I'm there.
And as a coach, what would you say to people who are wondering whether they can achieve everything they desire in life?
Well, first I can say it's only possible if you believe and have faith that it's possible, right? And that it takes three things, right? It takes the mental aspect, so the words that you think, the things that you think, the words that you speak, and then the actions that you do afterwards, right? So we have that power to declare what we desire, to first think it, declare it, forward. Now, I think something that you said in that question that can sometimes be an obstacle, right? We are very, very present to what our life is currently. And those things sometimes create a boundary that we can't get beyond, right? I would love a new job, but I'm so exhausted by the current job that I have that I don't even have the time, the energy to even think about the new job, right? We because of life and how it is, we just sometimes, like, life is a lot. Let's be real. Life can be a little bit much. And it's hard for us to sometimes by ourselves have the space to envision more than what we see, right? And we get trapped by that idea of just going with what we see. So unless something comes along and drastically changes our lives, like winning the lottery or something crazy like that, we get trapped by, oh, this is what it's going to be day in, day out. There is not going to be much more than this, right? Unless something happened that is completely drastic and dramatic, right? Well, what I'm here to tell you is that you can, and it's simply, it's a wonderful method I've come across. They call it the Kaizen method. It's basically it's a Japanese term, but they've distilled it down to the journey of a million miles begin with the first step, right? And it's all about the steps. Yes, we're not going to get there tomorrow. We're not going to build Rome in a day. But what we can do is think about, envision what we want, speak it, and then start taking those steps toward it. It may take time. It may be quick. Who knows? And I think that's the fun of the journey.
That is very empowering. And then as a coach, who do you think would benefit working with you?
Everybody. No, I'm kidding. I see people who are looking to expand their lives would benefit working with me. Listen, coaching isn't for everyone. and that's fine. You might look at your life and say, hey, my life is great. It's exactly how I want it to be. Then, hey, there's no need to call on someone like me. But for those who feel like maybe stuck, maybe feel like there is a little bit more out there for me, but I just don't quite have enough of something, like something's missing to get me a little bit beyond, but they want it. They have a desire and it can envision it for themselves. Then I'm your guy. I love working with people who want more for themselves because I want more for myself. I am also on that journey of life, and I believe in expansion, and I believe that becoming your highest self is the true journey of our souls, of of ourselves here on Earth. So
Awesome. Thank you so much, Bjorn. This is incredible.